come whenever you're driving in the hood, you always going to see somebody selling damn flowers on the side of the road? Give them their flowers and get out of my way. That light's green, brother. Thank you much. Wow. Hey, Valentine's Day.
Oh, what up, guys? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you. It is Friday evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good work day today. If you indeed work, if you don't, well, I hope you had a good day anyway. And I hope you're going to have a good start to your weekend. And speaking of the weekend, we got a good slate of college football coming up. I know people are saying this is not a great slate of games tomorrow. There's not a whole lot of interesting matchups. Look, you said that I don't know how many times this year we say it. Going into the weekend, coming out of the weekend, we're like, man, what an amazing weekend of college football this was. It was absolutely incredible. You'll probably have that same kind of feeling again this week, so don't worry about it. I got 3 games I want to talk about today. Before I get into them, if you're new around here, give some consideration to staying true around here. Subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for the notifications. We have college football related content here all the time, and we do live streams every weekend that the Gamecocks play. We didn't do one last week because I went to the game, but we'll be doing them every weekend going forward, at least the last 3 games, and then whatever we have after that, we'll definitely live stream that as well. But we'll be going live tomorrow at 4 p.m. The game is at 4:15 over on the SEC Network, the Gamecocks versus Missouri Tigers. So we'll catch a little bit of the 3:30 game, and then we'll switch right on over to them Gamecocks, taking on them old nasty Mizzou Tigers that we just can't stand a whole lot, won't we? So the 3 games we want to talk about, Gamecocks and Clemson Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs, all in action tomorrow. And these teams are local and relevant. A lot of our fan base here on the channel is fans of them, so that's what we're going to talk about here. Clemson is laying 12.5 right now on the road at Pittsburgh. This game has been bet up a little bit. It opened up, I think, at Clemson -10. Pitt, of course, was undefeated up until a few weeks ago. They went on the road to SMU and got blown out, and then they turned right on around and came home, took on Virginia, and they lost as a home favorite to the Cavaliers. 24-19, I think, was the score of that game. So they're really needing a bounce back, and unfortunately, this is just not the team to bounce back again. Clemson, while not a vintage Clemson unit, they're still one of the better teams in the ACC. Their defense has kind of been a little bit of a struggle this year. Last week, it played good in the second half, and well, really for the entire game. Virginia Tech is just inept on the offensive side of the ball. They had some injuries that were banged up a little bit. Pitt also is banged up a little bit too, from what I understand. And I think they're maybe kind of circling the drain here, and we may see them end up as like a 7-5 team, which is probably about what they are. I don't know that I trust Clemson on the road to cover a 12.5 point spread. Now, they did cover the spread last week, but they're not real great at covering spreads, and in general, they haven't played that great on the road, especially since, well, about the start of the 2021 season, kind of when the national championship caliber runs kind of came to an abrupt end. They haven't really played that great on the road, so I don't know if I trust laying 12.5 points with Clemson on the road. I would maybe pick a side, pick something you like there. Maybe you go over. I think Clemson can score some points against Pitt, or maybe you play Clemson first half over. Generally, they've been playing pretty well in the first half of games, and then kind of shifting it into overdrive in the second half and kind of motoring it down a little bit, just cruising on home. I think this might happen tomorrow. Pitt's just not a very good team. But, yeah, at the same time, I don't trust them with 12.5 points. So, that being said, I would stay away from that, and I would play a total on this game. If I had to lay the points with someone, I would lay it with Clemson because, offensively, they've been more impressive to me than what Pitt has been just as a whole. So I guess give me the taters on that deal. Georgia versus Tennessee. Right now, Georgia is a 9.5-point home favorite. Tennessee is getting a lot of love as a public underdog. I think about 63% of the public money right now is going on the Tennessee Vols. And, I mean, I can understand why. Why is Georgia favored by 9.5 in this game? Can someone tell me that? They've looked like homemade shit for most of the year. I mean, aside from, the game against Texas, and which they say, well, we really didn't play that well. We was just able to win. Oh, I mean, you beat the number one team in the country on the road. I mean, you obviously played well and did something. Other than that, and, maybe the second half against Bama, I guess you could say, well, the second half against Clemson. I mean, what have they done that's special or impressive? Nothing. I mean, really nothing to me. And I'm going to go on ahead and say it. Something's wrong with your offensive line. Now, we've seen it. We saw it last week against Ole Miss. And I've seen it in other games this year, too. You're getting whipped physically by these other teams' defensive lines. You're getting whipped. You're getting pushed back. So that's an issue for Georgia. That is an issue. I don't really know. I don't know what Kirby Smart does here in this situation. I mean, you got a quarterback that's sitting here throwing interceptions like someone's paying him to do it. He's thrown 17 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and most of them have come in just the last few games. I mean, you can tell the guy's got talent. He's got raw talent. I mean, we have seen it. But it's just not working. I mean, I don't know if it has something to do with not having a stable of running backs that you can really depend on, because, you're down to like your fourth-string running back right now. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's busted up. And it's late in the season. We get that. But I don't really know what the issue is with Carson Beck. I don't think the Georgia fans do. I don't think Kirby Smart does either. I'm sure if they knew, they would fix it. But I'm just continuing to let this guy stay in there and underperform is kind of ridiculous to me. Now, I know these coaches, they all come up with a game plan that is tailored around a specific quarterback. And changing up that game plan is sometimes probably pretty difficult, but whoever you have as your second stringer, whether it's Gunnar Stockton, whether it's Jaden Rashada, then they can't be doing as bad of a job as what this guy has been doing the past few weeks. I mean, it's really been bad. It's looked awful. So I can't see any reason. And then you're going to play what's Tennessee, like the number 5 ranked defense in the country. Got probably one of the best defensive lines in the country. Got James Pierce, probably, he may be the best defensive player in the country. I don't know. I think it happens to be Kyle Kennard. But that's just me, because I'm a homer of the Gamecocks. But nothing about Georgia screams to me, yes, we're going to cover this 9.5, and we're going to win this game at home. Now, Tennessee has not, they haven't looked real impressive to me either. Other than defensively, yes. What's the most? I think 18 is the most points they let anybody score on them. 19. Arkansas scored 19 points. It's pretty impressive. Nobody's scored 20 points on Tennessee all year in a game. But, I mean, for as great as their defense have played, the offense has just looked kind of muddy and, I mean, not real damn exciting. I mean, I guess it's effective enough. I mean, it's been getting the job done. You've won all your games, save one. I mean, I get that, but I think at some point you're going to have to be able to open it up a little bit to beat some of the teams that you're going to have to beat down the road. I mean, luckily for you, your SEC schedule up to this point, outside of Alabama, which was a good win. It was a good win for Tennessee. It was a great win. Not taking anything away from them there. And outside of that AC or SEC slate, it's been pretty dang manageable. Well, I mean, unless you count that Arkansas thing. That really wasn't manageable. Yeah, but in the offseason, I mean, I think people were touting that schedule being a little bit easier than what it was. Arkansas have looked a lot better this year than I think what people thought they were going to. It's Sam Pittman's job. Did he save it this year? I don't know. That Ole Miss loss was pretty brutal for them, but they have had some good wins and have looked decent at times. I think better than people thought they were going to. So, the Arkansas game, we could probably say, well, in the offseason, we thought that was going to be, an easy win, and they were better than expected. But still, generally, it's not been a tough SEC schedule. But I am going to lay those points here with the Tennessee Vols, and I've been tossing and turning over this one. I think they strike the upset because Georgia's just not good. I mean, you're just not very good right now. And I think that you may have, that short line, and then you kind of got blown out a little bit. Mississippi State said, well, or Ole Miss, they're really good. I think that may not have been the wake-up call that you needed. But I think losing this home game to Tennessee is going to be the wake-up call that you do need. So give me Tennessee to cover, and give me Tennessee to strike the upset. I mean, it's just not good. Georgia, you know what you have? I thought of this today, and I decided, was I going to say it or not? Because I'm going to piss somebody off. You know what you become? You're the new South Carolina. You are what South Carolina has been the past few years. That's what you are this year. Getting pushed around on the line of scrimmage, throwing a ton of interceptions, turning the ball over, playing like crap. I mean, you are the South Carolina of the past few years. And we're kind of leveling our game up a little bit. And yours is kind of, well, it's hitting the bricks, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to get beat tomorrow. I can feel it. I can already see it brewing. I don't care if Nico plays or not. I think he might get beat by a backup quarterback tomorrow. I think John Hopeful got something for that ass tomorrow. So, you better come out swinging is all I got to say. But I'm taking Tennessee in the points. I'm taking them to outright strike the upset over the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, on to more important things. That is South Carolina Gamecocks versus Mizzou Tigers. I know I talked about this game early in the week, kind of unofficially, but not officially. So, looks like Brady Cook's not going to play in this game. He was listed as doubtful. One more thing about Georgia. They're going to come back with something with me, but I'm going to tell you what. Shane Beamer's done a heck of a job this year. I'm not ready to sit here and say I'm eating crow. He's really good. I really like him a lot, and I was dumb for ever doubting you. Blah blah blah. I'm not doing that. But I am telling you, he's done a really good job this year, and he nailed it in the transfer portal. He absolutely nailed it with some of these guys that we got. Kyle Kennard, Demetrius Knight. These guys have been special players for us on the defensive side of the football. Must be nice. It's nice. It's nice to scoop transfer portal guys who actually do something, instead of getting DUIs and going and hanging out with the other team's goofy ass fans after you just got your doo-doo pushed in and jumping around and hooping and hollering and partying it up with them. Yeah. It's nice to have transfer portal dudes that do stuff like that for you. Anyway, South Carolina versus Mizzou. It looks like Brady Cook's not playing in this game. And as I said earlier this week, I don't really know that it made a difference if he would have or not, because he was not going to be at 100%. This kid, he's been through a lot. He's been injured. I mean, when he's not injured, he's really, really good. He's really talented, but he has been hurt a lot. He was hurt almost the entire 2022 season, and he played hurt. And everyone knew there was kind of something off with the kid, and it turned out his labrum was torn, and he played like that all year long. And Drinkowitz knew this, and I guess he didn't have a capable backup, and I guess Brady said he was good to go. So he played hurt. So that's why they nicknamed him Mazodcast Brady Toughheart. Well, Brady Toughheart's probably going to be on the bench tomorrow. It'll probably be Drew Pine taking the snaps for Mizzou. And I know that I said that he's more athletic and this and that. Mizzou is probably it's really weird. They're 7-2, but they're probably the shittiest 7-2 team that they probably have looked the worst of any 7-2 team. You barely got by Vanderbilt, barely getting by Auburn. None of these teams are really good. Barely getting by. Vanderbilt has been better. They're okay. I watched them play last week. Newsflash, guys. I mean, I wasn't impressed with them. I really wasn't. I mean, South Carolina shut them down fairly easily. Oklahoma, all these teams are terrible. And some of them were really narrow wins. Boston College, and that looked like a decent win at the time. It's not a decent win. Boston College is not good. I don't know what you hang your hat on if you're Mizzou. So, for that reason, just looking at how much they've turned the ball over and just the out of sync offense they seem to run, I don't think that they're going to be able to do much against the Gamecocks tomorrow. And I know I talked about being lower scoring. I think Lenore Sellers might be able to do some things tomorrow. I think they really might turn the ball over, beating our territory a couple of times. I think this home crowd is going to be going nuts. I don't think that we're going to see a letdown here. I was afraid that we were going to, but the more and more I think about it, and the more and more I think logically about where we're at, where we've been, this chicken curse thing, I need to stop thinking like that. I need to stop thinking the worst is always right around the corner. It just brings me down. It depresses me, and it makes me not enjoy what is going on, and the game's coming around the corner. So you know what? I'm taking the Gamecocks to cover in this game. I'm taking the Gamecocks to win. I think we win by 3 touchdowns. Give me South Carolina 31-10. I think Missouri's going to have a hard time moving the football. I think they may get some plays out to Luther Burden and stuff, but I think South Carolina's going to shut that down also. And I think that we are going to finally get a win over that goofy little Poindexter in Eli Drinkowitz. And he's had it coming. He's had it coming for a while. He's around his mouth a lot. He hasn't necessarily around his mouth about South Carolina. I mean, what he said last year about Josh Heupel, about standing on business and shit, that was funny for the time. But then, I mean, he just looks like a fucking dumbass now. Coming out and calling out Bob Stoops after the win over Oklahoma last week. Hey, y'all find Bob Stoops, you tell him that Oklahoma don't whoop Missouri's ass no more. It was so stupid. I mean, you had to rely on them putting the ball on the ground 4 damn times, dude, to beat them by 7 points. It's probably the shittiest Oklahoma team in damn 25 years. And you beat them, and you're sitting here beating your chest about it. Well, you ought to be pissed off because you got other teams out there like the Gamecocks and Ole Miss and all these other teams beating them by double digits. I mean, and you're barely able to hang on and beat them. So yeah, that was kind of a dumb look. It was almost it kind of a little bit reminded me. I don't know why. I guess it was just a coach after a game acting dumb. Do you remember last year when Ohio State beat Notre Dame on the road like by 3 points, and after it was over, I mean, it was a hard-fought game, and they won. I think it was 17-14 or something like that. And after it was over, Ryan Day was out there talking to the announcers, and they were interviewing after the game. He said, "Where's Lou Holtz at? Where's Lou Holtz at? Find Lou Holtz." Because Lou Holtz had said, the Ohio State's lines of scrimmage were soft. I mean, I don't know that he was necessarily wrong about that. I think at the time they were kind of soft. So he called him out, and then Ryan Day's out there spouting off about, well, I mean, that made a little bit more sense because Lou Holtz did say that, and then his team went out there and won a big game against a ranked team and kind of put them in their place. So he kind of shut him up a little bit. So that one, yeah, maybe that one makes a little bit more sense than Eli Dorkowitz getting out there and calling out a retired football coach from a school that he doesn't even coach anymore. Well, I think he's involved with them. But anyway, that you don't whoop Missouri's ass no more. No, I mean, Missouri got lucky and beats you now. Ooh, wow. Impressive. Anyway, Gamecocks are covering the spread there. Clemson Tigers, I think, are going to cover the spread and win. And I'm taking Tennessee to strike the upset over the new version of the old South Carolina Gamecocks, that being the Georgia Bulldogs. Have a great evening, guys. I will see you later on. I appreciate you. Peace, and I'm out of here. I'll see y'all on the live stream tomorrow. Go Gamecocks.